A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the divine dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It is time for the Sunday Top Split Strength of Field race for the Porsche Mission R Challenge. This is week number 3, and we are at Snetterton, the longest layout, the 300 circuit, here for some action here on Sunday. Thank you guys for tuning in. It is Matt Williamson. Tommy Cook will not be joining us here today. Apologies that haven't gotten too many Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcasts with both of us on here, but things have been pretty busy for both of us, so you'll just be getting me here today. But hope everybody is enjoying their Sunday wherever they are, and we are getting ready to make some laps around this very interesting circuit. This is one of my first times. It's not my very first time being here at Snetterton, but it's I think it may only be my second. Interesting little track we'll have here. We'll talk about it more as we continue on. I think everybody except for there's a couple still trying to finish their quali laps, but we only have about 10 seconds. Don't know if they'll be able to get them in. This is Hunter Engrav, Sean Begley, Roldem Mulder also working on their final laps, but not sure. Oh, and Hunter Engrav does get his in. And actually, Hunter Engrav is going to go to the top of the board here. Thanks to Goodleaf for being in the chat as always. And actually, you know what? Now that I mention it, thought there were only about 10 seconds left in quali. I'm very used to having 5-minute qualifying sessions. It's a little bit more than 5 minutes, so we got plenty of time. Some of these folks to finish up. I do believe everybody's now finished. Amy Grimmy is now finished with her run. Not a great qualifying effort for JJ Wang here. Shinny Inazuka just finished their qualifying effort, currently second on the board. And there is Olivia Hayward, who is back with us here today. It's been a while since I have gotten to call a race that Olivia has been in. I think she's been here a couple of weeks, not last week, but recently. I just haven't been here for them. So good to see Olivia back on track here for me. But some of our usual favorites here on Sundays are not going to have very good starting spots here. So this is going to be a very interesting race to see how it's going to play out. While we have some time, a little bit of a reminder for everybody here. We do not have any broadcast on Monday. We do have Super Formula Series coming back on Mondays. I'm not quite sure of the date, but it is here in 2 or 3 weeks. Tuesday, I'm not sure if we will have a Venom Truck Series broadcast or not, since it is 4th of July week here in the States. They have talked about maybe pushing that race back a week and pushing the whole season back a week in turn. So we will try and keep you updated as we can on that. Maybe stick around on Tuesday just to see. Look at the broadcast we got coming up on the YouTube channel if you want to. But there is a possibility that one may be pushed. So just so you are aware, no Wednesday either. The ASRL Sports Card Championship wrapped up just a couple of weeks ago, and we are not quite to the Daredevil series, but it will be returning, I believe, in 3 weeks. The actual season will start. I don't believe we are going to have a recruitment race, but that is yet to be determined. And, of course, Thursday is the 4th of July, so there will be no CNC Home Designs Truck Series for you this coming Thursday. So pretty light week for us potentially here on Turn 200. Don't get too many of those. But thank you for sticking around and hanging out here with us on Sunday. It's greatly appreciated, and it is time to get moving here on Sunday. And this is what your starting lineup will look like. And I took it back. I thought that JJ Wang was going to have a poor qualifying effort. I forget some of the qualifying rules here. Ends up going to the top of the board. Was able to get a good lap in here. So JJ putting himself in a good position. We've seen JJ and Hunter Engrav battle as of late here in multiple series here on Turn 200. Hunter Engrav is going to be starting the JJ's outside. That'll be an interesting one to watch. On the second row, Shinny and Uzuka, and Amy Grimmy will start 3rd and 4th. Larry Miles, Sean Begley on the 3rd row. Ella Spice, Olivia Hayward starting 7th and 8th. Jonas Bergqvist, I am terribly sorry if I butchered that, and Rebecca David will start there in 10th. Laura Hill, Georgie Trepsick starting on the 6th row. Sean Bowman, Lane Doyle started 13th and 14th, and only 16 drivers here. Chris Sotelo will start 15th, and Rolda Mulder will start there at the tail of the field. So watch for DeMulder to try and work his way through the field. Has had a lot of speed as of late. Everybody is on the grid, and we are getting ready to take the green flag here at Snetterton. And it's away. Wang gets a good jump out. Engrav right there in tow. Side by side, a little bit farther back. This is Miles and Begley battling for the 5th position. Begley able to take that one up the inside. That is Inuzuka trying to take third place away from Hunter Engrav. Tried to shoot up the inside, but didn't quite have the run. Now Amy Grimmy battling for that fourth position. There are lots of tight turns here around the 300 circuit. At Snetterton, there's Grimmy looking to take that position again. Lots of hard braking zones, lots of tight technical corners, but there's also many places where you can really get on the throttle, or I guess just on the pedal here. And there's some long straights. This is going to be one of them. This, I guess you could call it a backstretch. But we always talk about the PMR able to use the slipstream pretty well in these cars, so that is going to be on display here as you get another long straight down the front stretch to start finish. Thank you, Andy, for tuning in as well. Good to see you guys in the chat. Closest battle on the track here is between Begley and Ellis Spice. Both of them are up a position. Larry Miles has dropped a couple here. We'll go ahead and throw the track map up for you here. This is going to be, if you can read the numbers, depending on what screen you're watching. If you're watching on a phone. Oh, Grimmy a little bit wide here through turn number 2, and Begley is able to hang on to it, but going to lose a couple positions. That could have been really bad. Amy Grimmy was actually able to not, I don't think, lost any positions there, and mostly because Spice and Begley kind of got together. It was nearly 3 wide there through the hairpin. If you look on the track map up in the top left corner, that is turn number 2. Extremely tight. Have to get hard on the brakes. And here comes Spice looking up the inside of Grimmy to take fourth away. Great fighting there on the outside from Amy. We often talk about the tires here and the Porsche Mission R. And Grimmy trying to make a save there. Begley doing the same. Their tires are going to be a little warm after incidents like that. It's going to take a little bit, if you're able to kind of cool them off so you have them at an optimal temperature. Uh-oh, it looks like Inuzuka has had an issue. I don't know if it was for packet loss or he's just down pit road. That is interesting. Wonder if there may have been an off track that wasn't served. I'm not able to see the black flags in an official race as a spectator, unfortunately, so I'm not quite sure what the issue was, but it looked like just a drive-through penalty there for Inuzuka, but Inuzuka will drop all the way to the tail of the field. So that allows Grimmy to move up to third. So now this battle between her and Ellis Spice is for a podium. Sean Begley getting into the mix here as well. Watching these two battle, you can see just how difficult it is to make passes. You try and shoot gaps up the inside, but drivers on the outside are able to defend quite well, getting good drive off of the corners. A little bit farther back in the field, this is Larry Miles. Jonas Bergqvist in here as well. They are behind Sean Begley. Long line of drivers all together here, all kind of fighting for a podium position. But again, you start battling, trying to make moves on others. It can slow you down and allow other drivers to get to you if they're not too far away. That's kind of what we're seeing here with this group. Spice and Grimmy have been battling hard, and it's allowed all of these drivers to stick with them. Meanwhile, out front, JJ Wang has opened up about a 1.5-second gap back to Engrav, but you can see Engrav back there in the rear view still. So JJ certainly is not going to be able to just take anything easy here. Looks like Sean Bowen may have had a problem. That would be through turn number 2, but no damage, just able to get going. Probably a similar incident as Amy had earlier. You just get a little bit wide there. You get so slow through that corner. Sometimes if you go wide, it registers as a crash, and really wasn't. You just kind of lost control. Oh, wow! Looked like almost netcode contact there. That is Spice trying to make that pass on Grimmy again. Let's go ahead and go on board with one of these drivers. This is Sean Begley, currently in the 5th position. Has some drivers behind him vying for his spot, but is also right here behind Ellis Spice, who has speed and wants to make a pass for a podium here. Hello to Jeff in the chat. It's just me here today. Tommy will not be joining us. But thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be quiet here for a moment so you can hear the tires underneath of these cars as they are trying to maneuver around Snetterton 300. Wow, Grimmy off the track a little bit. This is the best opportunity Spice has had. And still is not able to get it done. That is just how difficult passes are to make around this track. It's not a very wide, I mean, it's not necessarily a super skinny track either, but not the widest of all tracks, and it's really one line. It's very hard to make any other lines work through these corners. Grimmy has played beautiful defense here. And really, defense is just running your line and not letting the pressure from behind you affect how you're racing. And Grimmy's done just that. Did have that one mistake this last lap around, but other than that has looked really solid with tons of pressure from the 6 drivers lined up behind her. And of course, many of these drivers run the official series together all throughout the week, so very comfortable with each other. You also got to know that the person behind you isn't just going to dump you. That's always very possible in official series, but all of these drivers very respectful of each other. Another look out front. JJ Wang has extended the lead even further. Oh, and here's a side-by-side battle. Bergfist got through on Larry Miles. The two of them have kind of swapped positions a couple of times throughout the race here. Oh, and there's another look. That's Georgie Trepsick. Wow, sends it really hard into that corner. Almost didn't make it stick and ends up not. Laura Hill still able to fight through. Trepsick got into that corner extremely hard. Kind of blew through it, but didn't go off track. Good work on both of their parts to keep it clean. And good work on Trepsick to keep it on the racetrack. That was a send. But back to that lead for J.J. Wang. It was a second and a half last time we looked at it. That was about 5 minutes ago or so. And it's nearly double. It's up to 2.8 seconds now. There's contact. Trepsick is around. Everything got bottled up there in the hairpin turn 2, and Trepsick gets the worst of it. We'll take a look at that replay here in a moment. While we were on the starting grid, we talked about Roll de Mulder. Happened to start at the tail of the field. Has made up quite a few positions, not quite into the top 10. Inazuka, who we presume had a penalty earlier on, has actually gotten all the way up into the top 10. Obviously, great speed. But had an incident earlier on and had to go all the way to the back of the field. Let's take a look at that incident here. And you see Hill gets really loose, nearly loops it around there through the middle of turn 2, stacks Trepsick up. And I believe that was Rebecca Davin that got into the back of Trepsick. Just a stack up in a really tight corner there. And you see Spice right up to the bumper of Amy Grimmy yet again. That is through that same corner that Trepsick had the incident. And you have to be close, because if you don't roll through that corner quickly, you can lose some momentum and really lose time on the exit of that corner. You can't back off for the person in front of you and give them a ton of room. You have to stay on it. Larry Miles trying to take 5th place back from Jonas Bergfist yet again. Not able to make it happen. Those two have had a great battle themselves as well. Oh, and Olivia Hayward, I think, had a problem. She is moved backwards a couple of positions. That is Roll de Mulder right in front. Inazuka has gotten through as well. A tough race so far here for Olivia. And everybody take a look at the track map here. Oh, wow. Tight stuff there. Spice trying a little bit of a different line. I mean, J.J. Wang and Hunter Engrav have really gapped the rest of the field. Unbelievable stuff from the two of them. J.J. still just a tick faster than Engrav all the way throughout the circuit. That gap between the two leaders is over 3 seconds now. So Engrav gonna need a big mistake there from JJ to have a shot at this one. Oh, Sean Bagley's had a problem. Olivia Hayward's off. Bagley also then trying to avoid Hayward. I don't know, maybe the two of them got together. Not sure. We'll have to take a look at it. Here's Hayward out of the hairpin. Oh, and got a couple tires in the grass. That's what sends her around, and then is going to try and get back out. Wow, look at Bagley. Tried to avoid contact. Puts himself right out into the grass. That is an unfortunate incident. Here's Inuzuka trying to continue their march. Has caught up to Rebecca Davin in 8th. A little bit of a mistake there. Lost some time, but was right up to the bumper for a moment. But other than some incidents, not many passes have been able to have been made. All the drivers knew it was going to be tough here today. I don't know if they knew it was going to be this tough. Spice still trying the inside line through some of these corners, but it's just not doing. I'm sure a lot of these drivers that are in this long line getting a little bit frustrated, not being able to really move up through the field and all, even though they feel like they might have some pace. Wow, Spice nearly got turned there by Jonas. Larry Miles almost able to... Oh, and Miles is wide! Oh, nearly caught Laura Hill there when he spun around. You see some damage to the front of the 5 already. Must have gotten in the back of somebody earlier. Just carried too much speed around the outside of that corner. That right-hander nearly took Laura Hill with him. As it always does here on Sunday, this race has flown by. Should be only one lap to go when JJ Wang comes across the line next time. Still has a good ways to go. Has just gone through turn number 3, now into 4. But it'll just be one lap to go once we get there. Miles, after the incident, dropped all the way back to 11th, now behind Georgie Trepsick and Rolda Mulder, who are in 10th and 9th, respectively. That means Davin and Inuzuka have moved up to 7th and 8th. Inuzuka still trying to find a way around Davin. And here he comes, JJ Wang around Murray's corner. And I take it back, folks. This is going to be it. That was the white flag. JJ Wang is your winner here on Sunday. That means Spice Not much time left to do it. Has been battling hard to try and get on this podium, but it likely will not happen. Amy Grimmie through Murray's corner one final time and hangs on for the podium position. Great stuff for the drivers throughout the field here today. Wow, and Spice, maybe not too happy. Felt like felt like Amy was really holding them up. But that's the game you play here at a track like Snetterton. But the man of the hour, J.J. Wang. New paint scheme here for Sundays this season. And the apex predator of the Porsche Mission R Challenge he is. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get to the final result. I do believe everybody has now crossed the start-finish line to finish up. And there he is, JJ Wang, masterclass again here this week from JJ. Hunter Engrav kind of kept pace. I mean, he's still learning, very fresh to this car. When Hunter's able to get even more seat time, I can only dream of the battles that those two may have. But finishes in a very respectable second place here. The two of them both finished nearly 30 seconds in front of the rest of the field. Amy Grimmie able to hang on there to third. We saw Ella Spice in fourth. Maybe not too happy about being held up there throughout the race. Jonas Bergqvist able to finish in fifth. Laura Hill, Rebecca Davin, Shinny Inuzuka, and Rolda Mulder, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And Larry Miles had that incident there right towards the end of the race, but able to get past Georgie Trepsick to finish in the top 10. So good little recovery there for Larry. Georgie Trepsick 11th. Olivia, tough day here for Hayward. Finishes 12th. Lane Doyle, Sean Begley, Sean Bowman, and Chris Sotelo will round out the field here. And still waiting for drivers to hop in the booth here. Or hop into the cool down room, I should say. Usually get to talk to Engrav and JJ. Haven't talked to Amy in quite a while. Not sure if we will get to or not. There's JJ. We're going to wait just a moment here. Go ahead and remind everybody of the week coming up. No broadcast tomorrow. Super Formula Series is coming up here in just a few short weeks, so you won't want to miss that. That they are the fastest open wheel cars other than the Formula One car, but they are a blast to drive and a blast to watch. Maybe or may not be a broadcast on Tuesday. Go ahead and count on it, but there is a possibility that we may not have a broadcast on Tuesday either. Wednesday, ASRL Sports Car Championship is over, but Daredevil is coming up here in just a couple of weeks, so you won't want to miss that coming up. And no Thursday stream either, of course. That is going to be 4th of July for us here in the States. So we will have Thursday off, and I will be out of town on Sunday. I'm not sure if Tommy will be here or not, so it may be another tape delay for Sunday PMR. We will have to see. Alrighty, looks like nobody else is going to hop into the waiting room here, so we are just going to go ahead and pull up your race winner. Once again, it's JJ Wang. Congratulations, buddy.
Hey, Matt. Yeah, thanks. That, man, I worked real hard for that. Just kind of off track and testing, trying to just, find every little bit that the car could give at this track. It's, kind of like last week. It's another really difficult track for this car.
Well, it certainly looked like it, not just for you, but for everybody throughout the field. Just an extremely hard track to pass at. I mean, from 3rd on back through 10th. I mean, unless somebody made a big mistake, there were basically no passes that were able to be made. I think we saw one between Jonas and Larry there. But talk to me about how the track plays in traffic. Is there some dirty air that plays a part in that, or is it just the way the lines are that unless you're in the main racing line, there's just not a lot of speed?
I think there's definitely some dirty air, especially with the faster corners going into the hairpin. This car has automatic DRS, so it's great for drafting, as history on this channel has shown. But it also makes it kind of tricky to follow in some of the sweeper sections. I struggled with that a lot last week at Portimao, and in this one, no doubt that. Especially going into turn 1 into that the Montreal hairpin to turn 2, it's pretty easy to kind of lose a little bit of pace there. I think dirty air is probably what Hunter struggled with the most. There's a couple of key corners at this track that he lost kind of a bucket load of time to me, and that kind of was one of them.
Well, I'll go ahead and get you one more question in here. I mean, you and Hunter obviously had the pace on the rest of the field. I mean, what do you do throughout the week to prepare for these races? How much seat time do you get? Do you practice with others on track? I mean, what does your week look like trying to prepare for a Sunday?
Yeah, usually, it's mostly just kind of getting at least one race stint in, kind of like a 20-minute run. We kind of time out how many laps that is. And really, I have to, give a shout out to kind of Jeff, my engineer, who I give data for. He kind of gets back to me. There's kind of like telemetry that he kind of lets me know on what the car is kind of doing at any given corner. And I think that amount of practice have really paid off, especially at this track. So yeah, first off, it's really just making sure you're comfortable throughout the race stint, which is honestly not an easy ask for this car. But then once you kind of feel your feet a little bit, then it's definitely a lot of race quality mode practice, and then that's going into the weekend. I'm okay just being slightly rusty going into race, because especially if I'm against somebody really tight, quality tends to be where the race kind of sometimes plays out.
Well, it certainly seemed like it may have been here today, but you and Jeff are certainly a force to be reckoned with here in the PMR community. So, congrats on the great work here today. Who'd you like to shout out and thank?
First off, I'd like to shout out to Hunter for coming out. I don't exactly know what happened. He was in my blind spot in Montreal's turn 2. I don't think I pinched him, but we came together. I'm not sure if he had any damage. I wouldn't, given how good Hunter is, I wouldn't be surprised if I gave him a little bit of damage. But I just wanted to thank him for just like not running me over, because it's actually real easy just to watch and just go, oopsies, car pushes, sorry, right? And then I did my best to give him room as soon as I knew he had a nose in. But just exit of Montreal is just so tight. It's just easy to just go into the grass on the outside, and then that can that can really hurt your momentum down that straight. So. Hunter is really fair. I wouldn't really have anybody else to fight for. I wouldn't ask for anybody else to fight for, just because of how fair he is on track. And I'm sure he'll bounce back next week. Work is not done yet. Big shout out to both you and Tommy for just coming out and supporting the PMR community. Doing this once a week is definitely a tall order, and you guys always give it your A game and make us look good. So really appreciate it. Hope you're having fun in the booth as well. And just everybody else who kind of came out. My teammate Sean Bagley, he didn't have that great of a race. I saw. I don't know what happened, but I appreciate kind of the teammate support as well. And James Watson for just we're an affiliate for him today this season, so still got to give thanks. Shout out to him. Still have the setup shop on my car. So yeah, just that'll about do it. Don't think I forgot anybody.
All right, sounds good, partner. Well, congrats on the great work here today, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, thanks so much.
Alrighty, everybody. We do have another interview that hopped in here. This is who JJ Wang was just talking about, and that is second place finisher Hunter Engrav. Pretty good race for you here today.
Thank you. Frustrated, but yeah.
Yeah, I was talking with JJ a little bit, and we saw, throughout the entire field, and JJ thinks a lot of it may be some dirty air, but just really difficult to make any sort of passes, here at Snetterton, just the way the track is laid out, especially with this car. Once you kind of got behind him, just didn't look like you quite had enough. Was there a corner or two in particular that you felt like you just didn't quite have enough?
Almost all of them. At the start, we made contact. I think you could maybe left a little more room just looking at the replay, but it's lap one race when everybody wants to go, and I knew once everybody got single filed out, you weren't gonna be able to pass. Dirty was a nightmare, so I was trying to go right away, and after I tapped him, I got rammed from behind him. I had some damage. I had a 4X, and it just kept oversteering the whole time. Then for some random reason. But, I think if we didn't have damage, I think JJ still had the speed, but I think I could have maybe stuck with him a little bit better. But, yeah, I just couldn't after I had some diffuser damage. It just kind of just wanted to slide everywhere.
Well, you were able to follow JJ there for quite a while, still be, in his tracks. I mean, he's somebody that has ran this car for quite a while now. You're a little bit newer to it. Is there anything that you kind of pick up on running behind him that you might be able to use here in the future?
I don't really know from watching behind him. Sometimes I used to watch his streams, so I would kind of watch where he was there and everything. But it's just kind of tough when you watch them because me and him have almost the same lines. But I don't know, like if he's how much trail braking, brake pressure, and all that. I can't see that from the outside of the car. So we ran the same lines for the most part, but it was just dirty air. Just was my nightmare tonight.
Well, it was still a great effort for you here today, so congrats on that. Who would you like to shout out and thank?
My mom and my dad for always watching. You guys for always doing a phenomenal job broadcasting, and congrats on JJ for his victory. He definitely had the speed this week for sure. So have to maybe do a little more time practicing instead of just an hour and winging it. Then do a little more for next race.
Well, we are looking forward to what you got in store for the rest of the season here. It's been a pleasure watching you here on Sundays, and I am sure we will be talking to you soon.
Thank you very much, Matt. You have a good one.
All right, you too, buddy. All right, folks, that'll do it for us here. The Sunday Top Split Strength of Field race from the 300 circuit at Snetterton. That was, I think, about exactly what the drivers thought that it would be. I think everybody knew it was going to be very tough to pass here, and very tough to pass. It certainly was. Drivers getting very frustrated throughout the field, especially right there in the middle to the back of the top 10. It was just a long train, and nobody could really go anywhere. So I'm sure as a driver, very, very frustrating to be in that position. But everybody did a fantastic job. So thanks to all the drivers that came out here today, and thanks to everybody else that was in the chat with us as well. Thanks to Jeff, Andy, and Goodleaf for being in the comment section here for us. And anybody else that was watching here today, we greatly appreciate it. I've gone over the schedule a couple times here today, so don't need to remind you of that. But thank you for tuning in, and I think Tommy will be back with me. I don't know if he'll be back this week, but he will certainly be back next week. All I'm going to close out and say is if you've seen any news about the Jacksonville Speedway incident, the families of those involved could certainly use some thoughts and prayers, and our good friend Tommy honestly could as well. It was a pretty horrific scene there. So with that, I will leave you all to it. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you all next time here on Turn 200. Congratulations to JJ Wang taking the victory here in dominating fashion.
This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.